All right, Linda, we're going to go ahead and get started. If others join us, that would be great. My name is Thomas McMullen. I'm calling from CEV Multimedia, and today's webinar is going to be on the power of student certifications and how they can really help boost an awesome CTE program that you guys already have going in your district. Today's, we're going to talk about the program in context to gaining, a better understanding of how industry certifications work. We're going to discover why industry certifications are important for students. We're going to get the industry's take on these certifications, and then we're going to learn the different types of certifications that we have that, our curriculum platform can deliver for you. A couple things initially. I'm gonna mute your phone just because I'm recording the session. So if you have any questions, just ask me over text, and I'll open your line back up, if you will. So I'm gonna mute the phone real quick, if you don't mind. And those viewers that are on, if you can hear me, that's great. If you can't hear me, you need to log in via our 213-226-1066 number, and you need to enter the access code 731-654-639 and then enter pound. So once again, my name is Thomas McMullen. I'm from CEV Multimedia. I've been in education, the educational field, initially as an elementary school teacher. Love what I do, been doing it for over 20 years now. Taught in elementary school for 6 years in LAUSD. Like I said, love what I was doing, but I wanted to help students on a broader scale, and lo and behold, I'm helping high school students become certified and helping with CTE, which is ultimately going to help them when they get out there and start applying for positions and going directly into the workforce and or going to college. Like I said, work for various companies. Love what I do, especially because the curriculum itself, bar none, is really, really great. It really encapsulates the capstone course where you have the caveat of the CTE course, but you have the carrot at the end of the students actually gaining certifications. A little bit of company history, really quickly. CEV Multimedia has been around since 1984. We have done nothing but CTE. Since 1984, we got our start in ag science, but now we have a bevy of programs from ag science to business and marketing, career exploration, family and consumer science, health science, law and public safety, architecture and construction. So we have a host of pathways to choose from, no doubt about it. We were originally known as, the VHS guys. Then we moved to the DVD guys, and now we're the cloud-based guys, which is the total package, the total program. Everything that a teacher would need to teach our program is within the program itself. So no more searching for videos on, educational marketing trends for CTE. No more searching for content or activities or projects to actually help your students understand key concepts that you're trying to teach in lessons. All those things are built into our program. No more grading assessments as well. All of the assessments are automatically graded in our program with regards to our student licensing. So just so you're aware, like I said, we've been around for a long time. We have all of our certifications are from nationally reputable industry partners. They are well known in the industry for their particular field. Going on to the next section, the reason why we do this is ultimately the students. We want to see them succeed, and 9 times out of 10, even if a student's going to college, they're going to have to find a job, chances are, to be comfortable. So we want to help them understand industry before they actually get to industry, and that's what our industry partners have done for us. They've helped these students understand the industry that they're going to be going into, help them understand it from a realistic perspective, not oh, this is a dream and I can become president tomorrow. No, I can't handle that job. That job takes tutelage. That job takes time. That job takes a lot of wherewithal, if you will, even our positions. It takes a lot of wherewithal and understanding of whatever we're doing. So we're just giving the students a realistic understanding of what industry they're going into, whatever that may be. And you can see here our students are very proud of what it is we do, what it is that we offer them. This picture here, the guy on the right is Dusty. He is the managing partner and executive with our company, and he's presenting a student certification placard to a principal who's, like I say, whose students received a bunch of the certifications. So we hand out these posters from time to time to those schools and school districts where they have exceeded expectations and been able to garner several certifications using our program. So this year alone, this past school year, and mind you, the certification process that we've been doing, working with industry partners, which, like I said, various states around the country highly recommend. We've been doing this for about 2 years, and we're one of the only CTE companies out there that have nationally recognized industry partners with regards to their certifications. These aren't county partners, these aren't city partners, these are national partners, because we know that students are going to move around. Students that go to your high schools now may end up in Arizona, may end up in New York, may end up in Washington State. So we want them to have a certification that's going to travel with them, and like I said, make them more hireable, and make them, more hireable when they go into these interviews. This year alone, this past school year alone, we had 5,000 certifications that we gave out nationally, right? The beauty is that in California, we had over 2,000 of those 5,000. So California really, really stresses and has emphasized certifications. And I'll show you a listing of some of the schools and school districts that have been a part of this. This is our Southwest Airlines Soft Skills certification in professional communications. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. We're going to talk a little bit extensively about that because that's our #1 certification that we have nationally. Our Principal of Floral Design is backed by the Ben School of Floral Design, the #1 school of floral design. Fundamentals of Animal Science, backed by Elanco. Veterinary Medical Applications, backed by Elanco. Plant Science Certification is backed by Bayer. Food and Safety Science and Culinary Meat Selection Cookery is backed by the AMSA, the American Meat and Science Association. Principles of Livestock and Selection is backed by the National Collegiate Livestock Coaches Association. Meat Evaluation Certification for Ag Science is backed by AMSA. Then we have a couple here, the Career Preparedness and the Business Office Technology Certification is backed by the Express Employment Professionals. And then the Principles of Small Engine Technology is backed by the Equipment and Engine Training Council. Like I said, all reputable companies that are on a national scale. Two things I want to talk about here is the Express Employment Professionals is a hiring managerial company, right? They have 65 offices in California alone. Your students who pass this Career Preparedness Certification and Business Office Technology certification will be put on a list, and they can be called by the Express Employment Professionals, as well as the Southwest Airlines certification. They can be put on a list and called by headhunters for these various companies to come and work for them possibly. Now, the beauty of Southwest Airlines that I like is that they hire a tremendous amount of high school students. And they came to us, and just to give you a little bit of background, they came to us because they knew that we were working in this field of career technical education. They knew that we were one of the leaders nationally in this field. We're both headquartered in Texas, our corporate office, and Southwest Airlines. But Southwest Airlines culturally was having issues keeping folks. And the issue they were having there is, they were hiring high school students, but they didn't have the soft skills to move up into middle management. They could do their job very, very well, but they really struggled when it came to people skills, when it came to understanding how to present themselves in a business-like manner on a daily basis. So they weren't being hired. They were bringing in new hires as managers. So, of course, if I'm in a position, I'm really, really good at my position, I think I should be the manager, and they bring in the stranger, and I'm training the stranger on being my manager, chances are eventually I'm going to go to JetBlue, and I'm going to take my skills elsewhere. So culturally, they want to keep folks in-house from start to finish, if you will. They want these high school students to come in, be groomed to become executives. So that's where we came in, and that's how this relationship came about, is because Southwest Airlines wanted us to actually help them give these soft skills to students who are coming into industry, and they're a leader in this area. So it was a win-win for both companies, if you will. So right now I'm going to log in as a teacher. And this is my home screen when I log in as a teacher. I can come in here. These are my courses. Of course, if I want to add a new course, I can easily add a new course. But right now, we already have the Southwest Airlines and we have the Express Employment Professionals Business Office Technology certifications up. Here is where I can link to all of the actual lessons for the course itself for Southwest Airlines. It's going to take me exactly back to that course I was just in. This is just going to show you the lessons that are a part of the course, right? So all of these lessons are a part of the course. If I wanted to quickly go to a particular lesson, I could do that. Over here, this little arrow down, I'm going to get rid of that one. This little arrow down, it shows I can view the course, I can copy this course, I can customize the course, I can manage the roster, I can look at a course grade report, I can invite students to my course, which takes about 5 minutes in the class during the first day of class. I can archive this course and or delete it. I can't delete this course because students are enrolled in this course right now, so I cannot delete it, right? And also, as an instructor, I have this student certification link that links to any and every certification that all of my students are working on. Let's just go to the Southwest Airlines so we can see. Right now, Jacob McMullen is working on this certification. He's tracked and he's done every one of the lessons, and we'll look at this when we look at the student side, but he hasn't taken the certification assessment just yet. So right away, as an instructor, as an administrator, you will know who has passed the course, who has been certified, and who has not, who needs to retake the certification, if you will. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to exit out of this screen, and let's go into view this Southwest Airlines course. Now, the reason why I like covering this course is not only is our #1 course, but also it transcends every single pathway that we have. So because it deals with soft skills, it's going to talk about English application, the introduction to professional communication, communication styles, written communication practices, business letters and memos, research strategies and tactics, presentation strategies and tactics, public speaking, extemporaneous speaking, introduction to digital communication, telecommunication basics, steps to superior customer service, conflict management, teamwork and collaboration, leadership styles, and then finally the review. This CC here stands for Common Core, and anything that has a new item means that we've updated something over the past 3 to 6 months. So we never ever have a static program. It's always moving with the trends of what's going on in the marketplace, which is, like I said, that's half the battle. A lot of times with educators, you buy a book and that book becomes obsolete in 2 years, in a year and a half, because industry has moved on, sectors have moved on, there are new sectors that are coming about, and like I said, students don't get to gravitate towards those because they don't know about them because it's not taught in the book, if you will. So with us, like I said, we're always, reinventing ourselves every year because industry changes, things change. So let's look at a particular lesson in the program. Now, this is easy technology, and when I say easy technology, I'm just saying that every single lesson, every single piece and component for the instructor is always going to be in the same place, whether I'm teaching an ag mechanic course or whether I'm teaching the Southwest Airlines Professional Communications course. We have a lesson plan, we have the student grade report, and then we have what are called virtual internships or career interviews, where, and I love this part as well, because a lot of times as an instructor, you don't have the time to bring in industry folks. You don't have the time. You may be working on that in the summer, but you may not get around to it enough to get folks to come in. So you're scrambling, trying to get folks to come in. as you're scrambling trying to do that, we already have career interviews where we went out and scoured America and asked them these various questions of them that a student might pose if they were sitting in front of them. So it's really, really powerful. Students love it, like I said, because it gives them a real-world anecdotal evidence of what it is that they're going into, what career field they love, but what it's going to take to get there, and what it's like within that career field. The program is always going to be taught in either a selection of videos and/or PowerPoint presentations. So that's how it's always done, a selection of video vignettes where you have pieces of the video that are all together, that we put together. If you look here, all of the materials, the activities, and the projects are on the left side here, the printables, because we know the internet can go down sometimes at schools, right, in school districts. So we have printables here for you to be able to print out, and then we have the interactive side. And I'd like to talk about a couple things. The first thing is we have worksheets for every single video. So a lot of times when a teacher puts on a video and they turn off half the lights, students tend to relax. Students tend to think, oh, it's time for me to goof off. I can get on my phone. But there's no time wasted with regards to our iCEV program. And what I mean by that is students need to be working in this in this worksheet as they're watching the video. It's going to be asking questions of them. So I'll show you what that looks like. So as the video is playing, and I'm going to play a little bit of it, conflicts can be costly for businesses and organizations. They can negatively impact a business and its employees, resulting in lack of motivation, reduction in productivity, obviously, and a loss of skilled employees, right? So we know that it says that. So let's go back, and I just want you to see a little bit of the video so we can see how it's going to track.
In a perfect world, there would be no disagreement. Communication between supervisors and subordinates would be perfectly understood. Coworkers would always try to help each other, and there would be no complaints from customers. In reality, however, conflicts are inevitable in the workplace. Conflicts can be costly for businesses and organizations. They can negatively impact a business and its employees, resulting in lack of motivation, reduction in productivity, and loss of skilled employees.
So you see, just for the first question alone, we dive right in, and students need to be aware of, with regards to that worksheet, and this is graded, so student participation has an actual grade. I don't know how many times I've heard teachers say, I've got 150 students. I don't know. I can't honestly tell you who was participating and who wasn't on a particular day. Like, you can see who obviously wasn't, and especially if it's blatant that they're not. But most of the time, teachers can't really see if a student's nodding, he's giving the college nod, that he's listening or she's listening. You can't really tell. So this is a way for every student to be able to be checked and balanced with regards to the program and whether or not the program is effectively working and whether or not they're getting the actual understanding of what it is you want them to get, which is, like I said, we're not trying to trick them. This is a certification course. They need to understand these concepts. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you. Secondly is the actual lesson plan itself, which to me is the brains of the program. So this lesson is on conflict management. The media type is a DVD and or a selection of videos. The duration of all of those videos is 26 minutes. We have our goals, our description, our objectives, our student learning outcomes. Trust me, any educator, any administrator coming into the classroom, this is what they want to know. And this is what they want to see also. How are you going about it? What standards are you attacking as you're going through this lesson? What are your objectives? What standards are you attacking? And we have all of the Common Core standards that are being addressed. And if there are any CTE standards, which are here as well, we have those as well. So as we look at this lesson, we'll see that this lesson plan here calls for a 6-day lesson. That means 6 class periods. Each one of these classes here represents about 50 to 55 minutes of instruction. And it's going to give you everything you need. The lesson links are here as well. So if there's any research that needs to be done, anything where they're asking you to go out and look, or they're asking the student to go out and look up information, you can easily click here. You can easily put this link on the board or on the screen, and students can easily go out to these links, and they are alive. They are hot links. Your CTSOs for clubs. We have the BPA, DECA, FBLA. All of these are here as well. So when you're addressing certain issues, certain things that need to be addressed with regards to a club, we have those that are built in as well. Those career connections, we're going to look at that as well, where we went out and we asked the questions that high school students would ask these professionals if they were sitting in their office. And then, of course, we have activities and projects that are built into the program as well. This is all project-based learning, so students can have at it, and we even have rubrics that are built into the program as well. So let's look at what it's calling for on the first day. It says, begin class by distributing the vocabulary handout and the worksheet. So the beauty of the program is that if you have the printable side, meaning you don't have internet access that day, well, you will have to distribute those. But if you have internet access, you don't have to distribute it because the vocabulary words are already here. I'm sorry, not this one. The vocabulary is already there for each of the students, as you see here. They have a PDF copy. They can download this copy. They can print a copy if they want to actually have a copy. But they don't have to. It's not necessary. So we have all of the vocabulary, which is at about an 8th grade, 2nd semester reading level. Once again, 8th grade, 2nd semester reading level. We're not trying to trick anyone. This is sort of like on-the-job training. This is what Southwest said that students, these are the words Southwest said students needed to know with regards to conflict management, right? So going back in, it says, and the worksheet. We already looked at the worksheets for students to use as reference materials. Show the defining conflict chapter. That's the actual video we were just starting to look at, that defining conflict chapter, right? Defining conflict, analyzing conflict, conflict management styles and topics, resolving conflicts, and third-party intervention topics. So those are the actual pieces for that. Let's look at a little bit of a career interview. We're going to look at Tani Truitt and hear what she has to say.
Right now, I handle all of the HR functions in my position, from hiring, interviewing, terminating employees, our benefits, handling all of the 401k, the insurance, any questions that employees have, enrolling them in the benefits, things like that. Working with people. You know, in my position as HR, I deal with employees on a day-to-day basis.
I'm going to stop it there. Of course, we can see that we have closed caption here. We can also manipulate the speed. So if we have second language learners, we can really slow this down. If we have someone who's speaking really fast in the video, we can slow it down so that they can understand, where we can speed it up for those students who are visually impaired. We can speed this up as well, so as they would like it to be. So just wanted you to see the structure. Like I said, it's always going to look the same. Lesson plan, student grade report, where you can look at student grade reports, and I'll show that to you really quick. We can see all the assessments that are done, right? The vocabulary and that conflict management worksheet. We can see all those scores there. If there were scores, we could see those scores for all of our students, and we can even download this report to a CSV file, and if we wanted to add this to our grade book, our electronic grade book, we could do that. So just so you're aware, all of that is there. Now, it's going to get to a point where it's going to ask about the assessment. Probably on day 2, where they'll do some assessments, right? So with the assessments, it's either going to be drag and drop, it's going to be ABCD, as this one is, and students will be able to go through this, and mind you, I'm literally guessing here on these answers, but I wanted to get to the end so that I could show you the evaluation piece Now, as an instructor, I can see, or even as a student, I can see right away how I've done on the assessment, right? I can take these assessments over and over and over until I really gain the concepts. I can study the summary of these assessments as well. So as a teacher, I have it set up so that if I get an answer or a question wrong, it'll give me the correct answer. Sometimes teachers will set it up where, in the past I've seen teachers set it up this way where they'll say, well, the first time I'm not going to give them the answer, but if they take the test the second time, I'm going to give them the answer, because ultimately Southwest wants them to know the proper answer to each of these questions, right? So for all of these are all what we call formative questions or formative assessments that build up to this Green Start assessment. This is the one that matters. These are all 5-question assessments here, these 1 through 5, but this Green Start assessment is a 10-question assessment, and it basically encompasses the entire lesson. This is where I can show details, meaning I can show the answers, and this is where I can make these activities available to students on their student side. So if I uncheck these lessons or these assessments will not be available, and then I have universal control of that over here, where I can come in and I can look at all of those. If I want to show the lesson, when I want to show the lesson, so if I want to show the lesson on a particular date, I can show it on a particular date if I want it to be visible to students on the student side, or I can hide this lesson. So sometimes teachers will hide the lessons that they're not teaching just yet, because our GATE students, we know if we show them everything, they're going to do everything, right? So we try to go through this and make sure that we can hide them universally, like I said. And if I want to invite a student to the class, I simply show the screen or put this URL on the board. I have a unique code for this particular class for students to log into, and then students click submit, and they're off and running, working with that course. So let me show you what that looks like. Put that unique code in here, first and last name. I highly suggest that you check these first and last names and make sure that they put the proper name in, because when they receive their certifications, it will have that particular name on it. So we have to make sure that they put their first and last name in correctly in our roster, so we can do that as well. So we put in a first and last name, put an email address, username and password. If you guys use Clever or any LMS system, Clever can communicate with it. So that's another way of them enrolling. If you'd like, we click submit, and they're enrolled in the class just that easy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in as a student so you can see what it looks like on the student side. I'm logging in as Jacob, and here's what it looks like. So Jacob's enrolled in both of these courses, right? The Southwest Airlines Professional Communication Certification course and the Express Employment Professionals Business Office Technology Certification course. Now let's go in and look at the work Jacob's doing, and we were just in conflict management, so I'll go in that one because we're already familiar with that one, right? You see that the lesson plan's not there because we're on the student side, and the student grade report's not there, but the student and the parents, with regards to parent engagement, this is highly engaging for parents as well, because they can track and see how their son or daughter is doing. So that's not there, but the career interviews are here, those virtual internships I discussed. Excuse me, it was a sneeze. The virtual internships that I discussed earlier, they're here. All of the content is here as well. So the videos, the PowerPoint presentation, and then all of the activities are here as well. You'll see here where Jacob tried to go through the vocabulary, but he didn't do so well. And he can always come back, like I said, and come back and summarize this, look at what he's done wrong, see what's wrong with this, right, to be able to go back and make the changes necessary. You'll also see that this class was taught as a teacher-facilitated class because not any of these formative assessments were done. You see here where Jacob went through the video. He may have done some vocabulary, may have done his worksheet, if you will. Maybe he did a printable worksheet, and he went directly to the Green Start assessment. That's possible as well because that's the assessment that matters, the Green Start one. Remember, the summative one. So that's what Jacob did. And like I said, when it comes time to studying for the certification assessment itself, Jacob can go back and he can go over all of these correct answers and see where he's gotten something wrong and or just study those correct answers. Because like I said, that's where the industry partner comes in to say, these are the questions that we deem pertinent for him or her being successful when they enter the business world with regards to professional communication. So that's what that looks like for Jacob. Jacob can also track it over on the right side. Now I have every certification that we have because I'm an employee, right? So I have everything here. Now, if you were to purchase this and say you purchased our business office technology, you would have all of this information, less this NCLA, the principles of livestock. That would be for ag science. But you would have these express employment professionals, career preparedness for 2010, 2013, and 2016 office products, and then the Southwest Airlines professional communication certification. So let's click in here, and this is where a parent would go, and this is where the student would go to see how they're tracking through the course, right? So if we went to English applications, we'll see here, this is a PowerPoint, right? So we can see what that PowerPoint looks like. We can also download the copy of this PowerPoint. We can print a PDF of this PowerPoint. We can embed this PowerPoint on our website. If we have a website we want to embed it on, we can do that. There's a code that's printed. We give it to our web developer. They put it on our page, and they're off and running that way as well. And that's for folks who don't have internet access, if you will, or have internet access, but their students may not have internet access all the time, if you will. So you see all the contents here, but you see this one is checked off, right? So that green starred one correlates to this actual lesson. So Jacob has gone through every single program, every single lesson within the program, those 10 question assessments, and he got to the bottom, and there's this 25 question review. Now the review is all encompassing. It's basically a PowerPoint that's going to cover the entire course of study, right, for this particular certification. So it's going to go through everything that they went through just as a review. This is the great way for those students to study for that certification. Once they do that, they'll take a 25-question summary, right? They can take student notes, which is awesome because it teaches them actually how to write notes, right? When you're seniors, you're juniors, teaches them actually how to write notes, for this when they're studying. So that's there as well. I'm going to exit out of that. So all of this is here, and like I said, if they want a summary or they want to be able to look over the questions, they can look over all the questions that are here for the review. And so once they've done that, now it's time to take the final certification assessment. They click this box here. That confirms they are who they say they are. That's going to be taking the test. And now this is where they would put in that voucher code. They put in the voucher code and they click continue, and they're off to take the certification assessment. Now it's a 100-question certification assessment, and what we're requesting or requiring is that on each of these certification assessments here, that they get an 80% or higher, right? So we want them to get 8 out of 10 correct on each and every one of them in order for them to be successful. It's a great determining factor on the actual certification itself, because the actual certification requires 70%, so 70 out of 100 questions need to be correct on the final certification exam for a passing score. Once they pass the certification, in about 3 or 4 days, we normally mail out those certifications, and that's what you saw those students holding up when I was talking initially, when we first began talking. They mail those out about 3 or 4 days later in the teacher's name for those particular students, right? So an envelope in the teacher's name is going to be mailed to the school, and inside that envelope will be the various students who were certified. A really big deal. A lot of districts, a lot of superintendents love it. They get sashes, for graduation because they have been certified with some type of CTE certification. So it's a really, really big deal. What you'll also find is this. Your GATE students, they're going to figure out that they can come in here and they can work on career preparedness on their own. They don't necessarily need to be in your class to work on this, right? They get through all of these lessons, and at the end, this final certification assessment, this lock will open up and look like the other page. they'll check it off, and what they'll do is they'll pay with a credit card, with their parents' credit card. And that's fine if they want to do that. Outside of the course that you're teaching, they can take it upon themselves and pay on their own, or have their parents pay, obviously, the $30 fee that it costs. Now, you say, we got these student certifications, they've been mailed out, so what? Like, what does that mean? It's a nationally recognized certification. What that means is, that means that that student can add this to their college portfolio. They can add this to their resume. They can add this to their LinkedIn account, their Facebook account. They can add it to any and every place, and the beauty of it is, it never expires. No one's ever going to come back 5 years and say, oh, you took that certification from Southwest. Oh, that's great. Now you have to retake that test because, you know, there's been some new innovations and blah, blah, blah. Once they've taken that test, they have been certified, they can keep that certification on their resume, like I said, on their college portfolio, on their LinkedIn profile forever, which is really, really nice. The last and final thing I want to discuss outside of questions is, and I'll open this up, Linda, once I'm finished here, is the pricing structure. The way the program is priced, it's $750 for a teacher license, for one teacher license, and it goes down incrementally to $525 for 10 teacher licenses. So every $25, it goes down by $25 for every teacher. So if you have 2 teachers, it's going to be $725 each. 3 teachers, it's going to be $700 each. 4 teachers, it's going to be $675 each, all the way down to $525. So if you have more than that, then of course that price point is negotiable. And then for every student license, it's $10. And for each student, whether it's 1 student or 100 students, it's going to be $10 per license. The teacher license and the student license are 12-month licenses. So if you run a summer program, you can definitely utilize a CTE program over the summer for certifications, if you will. That's another caveat to get students to come in over the summer to work on those, especially those students needing credit recovery, if you will. It's a great caveat. They can get credit recovery and a certification at the same time. The certification vouchers, individual voucher assessments, or assessment vouchers, I should say, are $30 a piece. Those last forever, meaning you purchase 100 certification vouchers this year, and you only use 75 of them because 75 students tracked through and got to take the certification and actually passed. Then you use those 75. You use those 75 vouchers. You still have 25 to use the following school year. So just so you're aware, I just wanted to make sure that was there. I'm going to open it up now, Linda, to questions, so I'll unmute you. All right. So, Linda, do you have any questions at this time?
Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay. The only question I have is around the industry recognized certification. In our area, most of the dollars that pay for that would be either Perkins or under our new CTE incentive grant. But yes, the state has put out a list of, you know, vendors or whoever we could use to pay for those, but I don't think you're one of them. And I'm wondering if you're working with the state of California to become recognized, to be on that list, or have the curriculum you know, certified through California.
Well, when I spoke with the Michelle McIntoshes of the world, who are at the state level, you know, with regards to CTE industry-backed certifications, there is no particular list that I'm aware of or that the company's aware of in the state of California that's an say a quote-unquote state-approved list. There are several listings of places where people can go as educators to look at certain particular listings, but like I said, we've done 2,000 in the state of California alone. So, and from various school districts across the state. So I know that our list, I mean, I think we're doing probably more certifications than anyone, if you will, with a variety of certifications. But if offline after this, if you could direct me to this list, because from a state level, perspective, I've not seen that, and I know as a company we have not had that question come up, but it's something that we would, of course, we would want to be on that list for sure.
Yeah, and I would definitely think that by moving that direction, you would open yourselves up to a lot more participation, I think even more than what you're doing. I know that's just been our big hang up, not being able to fund it through Perkins or CTEG at this point. I've been looking at I've been following you guys for a long time, but I just haven't been able to make the move over. So I keep hoping that will happen, and definitely.
Yeah, if like I said, offline, if we could discuss, or if you could email me the particular list that you're referring to, because when I emailed and spoke with the state level folks, I asked them when I first took the position, because that was one of the questions that came up early on, if there was an approved state list of vendors for industry-backed certifications, and I was told flatly no, that there was no state-sponsored, no state list of industry-backed certification. So if you could send me the place where you're referring to, I'd love to see it, because
Sure.
Definitely we want to be a part of that list.
Yeah,
for sure. Definitely. Any other questions, Linda?
Not at this point. I mean, this is something I would love to have for our Youth Employment Services program. And as I also talked to you, we have a CTE consortium, which is all of our districts. And I've been working on trying to put something together that, they find valuable, that they could all access, and something that no matter where our students go within the county, there's something streamlined that if they're at one school and they move to another school, they've got the same opportunities.
You got it. Yep. That's exactly what it's going to give them. That consistency, over time, and the consistency with an educator as well. The system will always remain the same, which is, the beauty of the program as well. That's the program. No matter if you have teacher turnover, whatever, the system is always going to be in place. That you can bring a new teacher in, they can be trained up really rather quickly to be able to present the program. Yep.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Linda, and I will be in touch. Definitely, I will shoot out an email to you once we finish today. But I appreciate your time, and definitely look forward to speaking to you soon, especially about that list.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, and then maybe it's just you haven't gone to the same persons I have talked to, but we'll see if we can get those aligned.
For sure.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay,
Take care now.
bye.
Bye-bye.